Hey guys, today I've got what's for dinner for you. I've got 4 quick and easy meals, so stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to make these. All of these took under 30 minutes except for the last one. It took a little bit longer for bake time, but otherwise very quick and easy. First, we're going to start with air fryer Parmesan chicken. So this was super easy and delicious. We ended up absolutely loving this one. So you're going to go ahead and get a bowl, and in that bowl you're going to put 2 eggs, and then it calls for freshly chopped parsley, but I'm all about quick and easy, so I just use the seasoning, and that's 1 tablespoon. And then you're going to mix those up really well. And then for your chicken tenders, you're going to go ahead and do 1 tablespoon of olive oil and drizzle that over, and then you're going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter and drizzle that over the chicken tenders as well. And then you're going to want to salt and pepper to taste. I am definitely not a professional. I hope these videos inspire you and give you new dinner ideas, because that's what I need in my life. So that's kind of what made me think about doing these. But just take it from me, I definitely don't know what I'm doing in the kitchen. Case in point. Okay, now you're gonna add in some garlic. You can do fresh garlic if you want, but I'm just doing this minced garlic. I love this. I always keep it on hand. You're gonna want about 1 tablespoon of that. Mix that in really well, and then you're gonna just put all of the chicken tenders into that mixture that you made. Mix them up really well, get them really good and coated. Okay, the next step is to take freshly shredded Parmesan. I cheated and just did a bag and it worked great. But if you want to make it even better, you can do freshly shredded Parmesan. But you're going to take about 1.5 cups. Honestly, at the end of this recipe, I would say just eyeball it. Don't worry about measuring it. I'm horrible at measuring. I usually just measure with my heart anyways. But the directions, goodness, I cannot talk. The directions did say 1.5 cups, but I would just eyeball it. So kind of just eyeballing it here, sprinkling both sides. This part gave me a lot of anxiety because it wasn't sticking and it was kind of getting messy, but it's okay. It all worked out in the end. So you're going to take those chickens that are now coated with all of that good stuff and place them in the air fryer. And you are going to cook them in there for 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to put it on 375 and cook for 10 to 15 minutes. I did not preheat my air fryer. I know some people do that. I did not do that, and it worked out great. So 375 for 10 to 15 minutes, and then you're gonna flip them and do 10 to 15 minutes again. For my sides today, I figured I would share with you what I'm making. I'm doing these Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Do not sleep on these. These are so good. Now, I can make homemade mashed potatoes, but they are so time consuming. So I love the Bob Evans ones. I do usually add a little butter or a little heavy whipping cream just to make them a little bit creamier. They kind of are a little bit more of a, I don't know, like a whipped texture. So I do add that, but basically all you do is heat them up. And then I opened up a can of green beans. I'm adding in some minced onion and some garlic seasoning and salt and pepper. And then I do about a tablespoon of butter on there and basically just let that all heat together. And these always taste amazing. Sometimes I'll do some bacon in there as well, but today I did not do that. And then I'm also going to go ahead and make some homemade mac and cheese. I had some leftover noodles. These were 2 different types, but hey, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to use them up. So I'm pouring in those 2 different types of noodles, but use whatever your family likes the most. Obviously, it doesn't change the taste, just the texture, which texture is everything. I will give you that. So I am going to cook those, and then while that is all cooking, I'm going to cut up a little bit of Velveeta cheese. Again, I didn't measure this. I kind of just eyeballed it, and so you can see I've got about, I don't know, a fourth of the block-ish. And I don't think I ended up using all of that either, but I just added that in with a little bit of milk. And now we are flipping the chicken tenders, and this part gave me major anxiety because as you can see, the other side, it was kind of like the topping was kind of falling off. It wasn't sticking, and the other side didn't have any brownness to it. So I added the rest of my Parmesan cheese onto them before I cook them again. And that's what I would recommend doing if it does the same for you and the topping kind of falls off. Add some more cheese. And so you'll probably end up using about a whole bag of Parmesan cheese for them. But I just put those back in for 10 to 15 more minutes. Now I'm adding in a little bit of milk and that Velveeta cheese and just letting that melt together. These were seriously amazing and so quick and easy. And this meal was just like the best home cooked comfort food meal. Highly recommend this one. This one got a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, now we're gonna do bow tie pasta. This one was also a huge hit. I ate leftovers on this for 3 days. It was so good. So you're gonna take your ground beef. I typically buy 80/20, but you can buy a leaner meat, whatever meat you prefer. You can even do turkey in this if you want, or even ground chicken might be good. I don't know. I see people experimenting with that for like different health reasons or just different preferences. If you don't like red meat, you could try those, but we're just using ground beef. I salt and peppered it, and you're gonna add in a block of cream cheese when that's done cooking. So we're gonna cook that meat, and while that meat is cooking, you're gonna go ahead and boil your pasta. I used a box of bow tie pasta. Really loved the texture on this one, so I do recommend getting the bow tie. So once you've drained your meat, you're gonna add in your block of cream cheese, and then you're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of milk. And by the way, I used 1 pound of ground beef. You can use however much you need for your family. And then I'm gonna add in a can of pasta sauce. We love this Hunt's pasta sauce because it's smooth, there's no chunks, but of course, use which one is your favorite. Let me know your favorite pasta sauce in the comments. All right, so you're gonna mix all of that stuff together in your bowl, and then you're gonna go ahead and drain your pasta and add that in, mix it up really well, and then add that to your 9x13 baking dish. You are gonna want to go ahead and grease that dish however you prefer. I'm just using my olive oil cooking spray to do that. So the recipe calls for 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, and I believe in the notes she says to add freshly shredded. I can't remember if it was this recipe or not, but I'm again just doing the bag of mozzarella cheese and it worked wonderfully. Now, I did go ahead and try to be a good girl and follow the recipe and measure it all precisely, and as you can see, that did not work for me. I ended up just dumping it on there, and again, that's what I recommend. I ended up using pretty much the entire bag. We love cheese. I especially love cheese, so go all in with the cheese. But you're going to preheat your oven to 350 and cook that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And this is what it looks like when it's done. Let me know what vegetable you would serve with this. I am struggling with side dishes as far as like vegetables go. Green beans are usually a hit. Sometimes we do broccoli, but I need help, so help me with the vegetables. Okay, so this is not a crock pot meal. Don't get too excited. We are doing buffalo chicken taquitos, but I had my chicken was frozen, so I had to fix that situation. So I decided the best way to do that for me was to just go ahead and throw them in the crock pot. I had done this early in the morning so they would be ready when I was ready to make dinner, but you could use rotisserie chicken or you could make it however you want. But I'm adding in salt and pepper and just a little bit of chicken broth to give it some moisture, and I went ahead and let that cook for 4 hours so it would be nice and tender and ready for me to shred. So once 4 hours had passed, it was cooked perfectly. I just take it out and put it in a bowl, and then I use my mixer to shred it. This is like a genius hack that I learned only a couple of years ago. If you don't know about this, it is seriously life-changing. So you just take your mixer and you just shred it, and it does an amazing job. So that's what I'm doing, just shredding that chicken. I swear, you guys, I do know how to talk. But anyways, you're gonna add in 1 block of cream cheese. I cut mine up so it would melt easier. And then you're gonna add in 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and 1/2 cup of buffalo sauce. I like the Frank's buffalo sauce. And then you're gonna add in 1/2 cup of ranch dressing. You can use any ranch dressing you like. All right, now that you've got all of that in there, you're just gonna mix it up really well. It does help to have your cream cheese softened, so if you wanna set that out a little bit prior and let that get room temperature so it will mix better, that is a tip. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use this silicone baking sheet. I've recently learned how bad aluminum foil is for us, and I am someone who loves to cook with aluminum foil. I'm trying to not do that anymore, so I got those on Amazon. But I'm gonna go ahead and grease that, and then you're gonna take your fajita sized tortillas and you're going to want to fill those up with that mixture about lengthwise. So put a good amount in there, and then you're just going to roll them up just like that and lay them on your greased baking sheet. And I ended up using the entire pack. And what I did, because we did have leftovers, was wrap these up in like clear plastic wrap and freeze them. And I heat them up and eat them for lunch. And it's such a good and obviously quick and easy lunch. So if you do have leftovers, these make great freezable, on the go, busy mom life, whatever, meals. So you're going to preheat your oven to 450. You do want to spray them liberally with the cooking spray. You're going to bake them for 10 minutes and then flip them and bake them for an additional 5 minutes. If you have any extra, you can save the mixture and use it as dip. I dipped mine in ranch, which I highly recommend doing. I love celery with my buffalo chicken, so that's how I added a vegetable into this one. Okay, so now we're gonna do this loaded chicken and potato casserole. This one was amazing. So you're gonna first start with some red potatoes. You need 6 red potatoes. You are gonna wash them and cut them. I just used my little handy dandy chopper here. It worked out great. So I'm chopping all those up. I did add sweet potatoes into the recipe. It did not call for them, but I thought that they would I thought they sounded good and that they would be a healthy thing to add in there. So you can do this or not, or you can add or take away anything. I love that about recipes. You can really make them your own, and I typically do that because we're a house of picky eaters. Aside from my husband, he's not that picky, but me and the kids are very picky, but we love sweet potatoes. So I did add a couple sweet potatoes in there. And then I love this diced chicken that you can get from the store now. It makes my life so much easier. So see if your store has this, and then you don't have to worry about cutting up the chicken. It just takes a little bit of time and gives you that back into your day. So you're gonna add the chicken. It says 2 chicken breasts. I just did that pack of chicken breasts. You're gonna do 1 garlic clove, but I did about 2 tablespoons of that minced garlic in there because we love garlic. You're gonna do 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and you are going to add in salt and pepper, of course. And then with the seasonings, I tried the measuring thing. Again, I just measure with my heart, so I recommend eyeballing it. The smoked paprika, it said to do 1 tablespoon, but this really made the recipe. I would add more in there. I would add a little bit more. This really gave it such a nice flavor. And then it calls for 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, but I really just eyeballed that. And it did call for oregano. I didn't have that on hand, so I didn't add it. And I highly recommend just seasoning it with your favorite seasonings because it's all about your taste and what your family likes. So that's kind of what I did here, but I did follow it pretty closely. So now you are gonna mix all of that together really well. I will say another tip with potatoes, they really tend to soak up that salt, so make sure you are salting it enough, but you can always add salt later. You can't take it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and grease my baking dish here with some of my olive oil cooking spray. I'm going to grease that really well and then dump all of that into there and kind of even it out. All right, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 375. And you're gonna bake this for 45 to 50 minutes. I do recommend going more towards the 50 minutes. Those potatoes seem to take forever. While that's baking, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some green onions. I absolutely love green onions. They are just so good. If you don't like them, don't add them in. Do something else or do nothing at all. That's fine. They didn't make or break it for me, but they were good. And then I accidentally got reduced fat because they substituted this when I ordered my groceries. So just do regular sharp cheddar cheese. Freshly shredded will melt better, but this did just fine. And I had also made up some bacon while I was waiting for that to bake and chopped that up. So I'm doing freshly chopped up bacon and sharp cheddar cheese. Add that whole bag of cheddar cheese, girl, because we love cheese here, okay? Or boy, I shouldn't say girl, because I know I've probably got some men here that love to cook as well, so I didn't mean to leave y'all out, but I am just spreading that over top and then sprinkling those green onions over top, and then I'm gonna throw that back in for 5 to 10 minutes and allow that cheese to get all melty. And seriously, this one was so good and relatively healthy as well. I just served mine with a side of baked beans. I thought that that paired really well with it. I hope you guys leave this video inspired to make these meals this week. If you do, definitely let me know in the comments if I've helped you out. I hope you will subscribe to my channel for more meal ideas, and I will see you guys in a future video. Thank you so much for watching.